Scarlett, my good friend. We go again.
Hi, mate. It's been a while. Nice to see your face after a couple of weeks.
Mad that we'd done 3 in 6 days, and it felt like you were the only person in the world I saw, other than my kids and my wife, to then like, shit, I feel like I haven't done one of these in ages. I feel like coming back on to episode 1 here. So, how are you? How was the holiday?
It's good, mate. Really good. Had a very nice time. I can recommend Oman as a holiday destination. Should anyone be looking for fucking 30 degrees heat?
I saw that.
Amazing like perfect beaches, warm sea.
I saw some of the pictures. They get through a few books in your time across there, did you?
I did, mate. I did. Actually, I was gonna do a book review. I'd forgotten, so I probably won't do that today. Yeah, read Ozzy's autobiography. That was good. And also read the Encyclopaedia Metallica. Do you know about this? So Sam Law from Kerrang mentioned it to me. He was interviewing me, not for Kerrang, for something else, and he said, "Do you know where Metallica got their name?" And I was like, "No, got no idea." And it was from this. It's like a magazine, but it's a book, and it was written basically about like the history of metal, but it's the history of metal up until sort of 1981 or something like that. It was really quite strange to read, because it's like they didn't know anything that I now know happened between 1981 and 2025 in metal. So they're talking about like current metal as being like Iron Maiden are on their second album sort of thing. So it's really weird. It's the whole concept of it is weird to read it back now. So you would probably be thoroughly fucking bored by it. But I was quite geeking out on the bands that they were talking about, and who they thought were going to be big, and they're mentioning some bands that just you never heard of, and then some they're like, yeah, there's this new band on the scene, Def Leppard, that have got some potential. So yeah. Anyway, I wasn't intending to talk about that, but yeah, I read.
It's funny that you dropped Sam Law's name into conversation, because 15 minutes ago he was at my front door. It was he nipped across to give me a bag to take down to Manchester for him, because he's going to Berlin tomorrow for some cover feature for Kerrang, and then flying from Berlin back to Manchester, and obviously couldn't take all the stuff he's going to need for the weekend. So he only just left my front door 15 minutes ago.
What a good man he is. Very nice. I'm sure you needed an extra job. You just fancied like a couple more things to add onto your list.
You got Manchester this weekend, Gav? Any chance you can take my stuff from me? All the people that both Sam and I know, and he's like, I'll go across to Gav. He'll make sure it gets there. So, aye, that's that. So, I mean, good. You feel refreshed? You feel recharged?
Yeah, I do. I was going to tell you one place I went, because I feel like I should say this just because I can. There's a place called the Empty Quarter in Oman, and it is the biggest sand desert in the entire world. I googled it, and it's 2.5 times bigger than the UK. So it is like sand for 2.5 times bigger than the UK. We drove there. It was like 300 kilometers from where we were. My family were a little skeptical about a sort of 600 kilometer round trip, but it is one of the most fucking incredible places I've ever been. Just fucking massive, towering fucking sand dunes everywhere. And it's just literally sand everywhere you look. Pretty cool. It covers like Oman and Yemen and the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. It's just fucking vast. No one's ever heard of it either. They could have done a better naming job, I think. The Empty Quarter feels like they might have missed a trick if it's the biggest sand desert in the entire world.
They're not serving on that, are they? Okay, good. Okay.
No. So yeah, how you doing? Are you you're in the whirlwind?
Would you say the usually put them in the tumble dryer? I am being in the tumble dryer.
Yeah, the tumble dryer.
The tumble dryer, the wash machine, and back into the tumble dryer. I'm a bit like, let's just be honest about it, a wee bit overwhelmed at this precise moment. It is the Tuesday before Damnation. I have picked up the van, loaded it. I am going to Manchester tomorrow morning, first thing. So there's a lot going on. I mean, I joked, never joked. I just told my wife earlier. I was like, I was on email at like 11, in between 11 and 11:30. There was scrolls of the inbox. Like, it was coming in at faster than I could reply. It was like 11-16, 11-17, 11-17, 11-19, 11-20. And I'm like, look at this is fucking insane. Just, I mean, some of it, not all of it, and I'm just getting copied in a lot of stuff that maybe Angela or Marios or Paul or fucking Callum or something are dealing with, but just copied in. I was just like, this is, and then you get that whole, I don't know, but this year, it's like, it's fucking massive. This year's just massive. I don't get out of my bed in the morning because of the pounds and pence, and I've said that before, but yet there's no getting away for the fact that the idea of organising a £1 million festival that's financially 100% yours, it doesn't feel, you don't feel the weight of that extra day and the income for the extra day and the responsibility, because there's no cancellation insurance. There's insurance, but there's no, I mean, fucking roof blows off the top of Beck between now and Saturday. I'm a couple $100,000 out and probably the end of Damnation. So there's bits of that are just kind of sitting with me like, well, this feels like a lot more serious than normal. So I'm enjoying it, embracing it. I'm not here to complain about it, but to answer honestly, it just feels like, fuck me, there's a shit ton going on right now.
Yeah, I know that feeling, mate. And you have got the weight of the world on your shoulders without. I mean, I know you got a team, but you're the main man. So
yeah, I mean, I want to start this, but I
lot.
definitely want to shout out the team, because I tell you, I made the decision to go 2 days. I made the decision to take the Damnation to where it is now, make a celebration for the 20th anniversary, and we hope in future to continue as a 2-day event and for this to be a massive success. But Angela, Fro, Callum stepping into the breach, honestly, after losing Bry. Marios, I see less of Marios dealing with the production. So you've got Angela's dealing with all the advancing, you're dealing with the band's demands of everything from the ground transport to hotels and dishes. Paul kind of fills in all the gaps in between. Like, he's the guy that remembers, like, we need to get another 50 Harris fencing, and deals with the toilets and sends out the guest list, and he kind of plugs all the holes that other people are just between jobs. And then you've got Callum, who was supposed to be the videographer and is now kind of doing everything that, like, we're just kind of lumping him with Bry's responsibilities on top of what was already doing, and that sort of coordinating press and social media and marketing, and then Marios with the production. So they guys, I mean, Angela went to bed like 5 a.m. last night, trying to get caught up with some of the advancements that she couldn't get through, which she was out to with other bands. And I mean, the effort that they guys are putting in is not unnoticed. I mean, it's like, it's not possible doing a Damnation this scale without them. It would be utter carnage come the weekend if it wasn't for that team. And a quick shout out to my wife as well, who's not part of that team, but as soon as she finished her sharp the salon and went into sort of Damnation mode, I mean, she's been at Farm Foods and Costco and fucking picking up biscuits and trays of pot noodles, and ordered a fridge that you were getting laughed about because it's been ordered for you, make sure it's clean enough. And just, my wife doesn't know the first thing about the bands that are playing Damnation, but she knows what goes into it behind the scenes, and the wee tiny things that seem insignificant that become a big issue in the day. No having the ginger shots or the kombucha, and she's been getting tore into that. So a massive thanks to all of them, and no doubt I'll touch on some of the other jobs as we go through this episode. It's been fucking great, and I greatly appreciated.
So would you say that you can really feel that the second day is more so than last year? It feels bigger and more, and like more to take on.
I mean, it's an odd one to. It's not, because it's not. I mean, that's not like a salvation for all the jokes and laughs. I mean, it still was 15 bands using the same space, but 15 smaller bands than whatever day you want to pick. Smaller bands: Inclusion of Conformity, Perturbator, Orbit Culture, High Fire, or another one, Amun Ra, Napalm Death, Pig Destroyer. And also, again, it's just, I think, making sure that this, something that's sitting with me a lot is seating. It's like, I need this year to be a success, and we get a lot of people who like to sit down, and I know that no matter what I do, I'll never have enough seating. So I'm always just like, where can we squeeze an extra seat into that venue that someone can sit down and have a rest? And just wee things like that. I mean, there's so many things I can't control, but I'm like, we need to squeeze a seat in everywhere there's a space, because we need people to leave this year and be like, yes, it was hard work in the sense of, that's a lot, but I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I want to buy my 2-day ticket for next year. So there's a lot of, there is no, like, my mum's my mum's point of view to, like, to my point of view could not be more different. So Damnation's going to be very successful financially this year if all goes to plan, which I hope it does. And Kelly was talking to mum, and she's like, "Oh, Gavin's feeling it at the minute. Like, help out a wee bit with, I don't know, picking Charlotte up for school, or just anything, any wee bit you can do to make Gavin's life a wee bit easier." And I feel like, well, if it's really successful this year, he doesn't really need to try as hard next year. And I'm like, that's the opposite of how I feel. It's like, if I does really well this year, all I want is it to go one better next year. I mean, I don't operate like, oh yes, I've got a nice wee cash pot. Let's go and fucking sit in the corner and just I'll book some bands next year maybe. So, it's funny to when my mum is just. It's weird, still weird after all these years having this kind of job for somebody like my mum. It just doesn't seem real.
Yeah, well, it's not a real job, is it? Let's face it, mate. So the thing is, I've got to tell you, is I got back from holiday yesterday, right? So I think I've got an excuse, but there is no fact of the week this week.
Well, I've got you, mate. This is a Damnation preview. I mean, this should be called something between a Damnation preview and the first wave of the Arc Tangent and Trees bands, which I know nothing about this Trees bands thing, so I'm going to hear about all this live for you, I assume. I do have a fact of the week. The fact of the week is someone posted the Damnation 2005 ticket and said, bring back £13 tickets. And at the time, I was like, I get the sentiment. I mean, it's £13 ticket now, one day Damnation's £85. But then I also thought, fuck, for the venue hire, Jerry's Rock World in 2005, it costs us more now to put in the tables and benches outside in the tents. That's more than the entire venue hire. The tents outside, the 2 tents, is 6 times more than the entire venue hire. So when I actually looked at the cost involved, it's about 7 times more. The £13.85 is about 7 times more. The ticket, 23 times more the cost to put on Damnation. So it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Hell.
I mean, I even looked at it, if it was a £13 ticket and we sold out every bit of Damnation, we'd lose about, I don't know, 200 grand. So unfortunately, the £13 ticket cannot make a return.
No, that is wild. That is wild. So this is the new Gav fact of the week.
No,
section.
mate, I've got enough in this fucking podcast. The fact of the week is yours. I was helping you because of Damnation preview.
Good fact. Good fact. I like it.
So tell us what's happening. What you are? I mean, you were away. There was an Arc Tangent, an amazing Arc Tangent first drop, and then you notice you put in the notes the Trees as well. I take it as due then, if we're going to talk about Trees.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, the day this podcast comes out. No, on Wednesday. The podcast comes out on Thursday. On Wednesday, the Trees announcement goes out. I mean, in some fucking mad world, I knew it was a stupid idea, but I still decided that I could go on holiday and get an Arc Tangent announcement out while we're away, whilst also organising a Trees one. I mean, there are a lot of bands on this Trees announcement. I'm not actually sure how many, but it's a lot. So getting artwork approved and stuff is a thing. It's a fucking... And the big thing that I was doing while I was away is that the headliners, which didn't materialise for ATG in the end, it was really quite frustrating. But also a couple of TBC headliners for Trees as well. I was just tearing my hair out, just chasing and chasing and chasing. And you know that it's that old thing about you never know when to just go, actually, fuck you, you're wasting my time, I'm moving on. Or just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
Will that confirmation finally come in? So it's a bit frustrating. Anyway, the ATG announcement went out last week. I was a bit nervous because, and again, that's not the emotion you want when you're on holiday, really, but the sort of anxiety of how people would react to not having headliners on a poster. Well, I think I'd really forgotten that our audience is not like that, and that they were going to go mad for like Agent Fresco, and they were going to go mad for Svalbard, and they're going to go as mad for those bands as if you give them Mastodon, which we're not going to give you. So I think actually when I got myself wound up about it, and then now I look at it, I'm like, it was a pretty special announcement. It's like, so for anyone that missed it, my highlights would be that it's UK exclusive 2026 shows for Igor, Perturbator and Allcest. Oathbreaker reforming for the first shows in 9 years. That's a UK exclusive. Sorry, Gav. Svalbard's final ever UK festival. Heck reforming for their 10-year anniversary of Instructions. Again, UK exclusive. Excuse me. Agent Fresco playing their first shows in 8 years, UK exclusive. TTNG playing the first show in 7 years. Human Fly performing for the first show in fucking 13 years, just because I think they're incredible. And I was very happy to see that some people were also very excited about that. It wasn't, I had a thought that it might just be me. And Amplify doing a silent disco set, which was Amplify's idea, I'm pleased to say. So I think it was fucking really good first announcement, and ATG ticket sales continue to beat all previous records, so we're flying.
Yeah, it was a great one. Obviously, one for me was Oathbreaker, and because I mean, there's no point being a bit of bush. Both of us were in for it. We got the news that they were going to go with you guys, and a bit like, okay, fair enough. There is a bit that it was good. I actually quite liked the way that we done it. Like, we knew it was happening, and it wasn't. And I'd contacted you. I said, "We're not going to. If I find out that I'm being leveraged to make you pay more, then we can't go down that route. We cannot go down start going that. Even if we both of us know in an honest way, the two of us are putting our cases forward for play our festival. We can't be used against each other to go and get an extra $2.5 grand, $5 grand, $10 grand from another band. So if somebody comes back to you, this is the opening, but another band comes back to you and says, oh, I've got an offer elsewhere, so you pay 15, or you pay 20, or you pay 25 or 30, we'll go with you instead. Then I'll just retract my offer altogether. And then either take your offer or don't play the UK, because you kind of go down that route that I'm sitting here in the podcast where you never getting used. We're getting used by each other's festival to bump up the band prices because there's a bit of demand there. So I'm glad that never happened, and I'm delighted ultimately to see Oathbreaker at Damnation and at Tangent if I was not going to be at Damnation.
Yeah, and it's a tricky one that, you know, there's that other band that we've been talking about behind the scenes recently where you'd booked them and then the agent offered them to me, and I've chosen not to book them because you have them. And if it was any other festival, I would have gone ahead and booked them. So I think it's a weird one on those bookings we both really want, of which Oathbreaker and this other unnamed band are. It's quite hard. And in some ways, it wouldn't matter if they play both festivals. It's fine for me if there's some overlap, but I don't know.
Aye. But honestly,
Made
great fucking start to Art Tangent. I mean, and then top of that, your Overhead the Albatross and Dimskew in there too. Another two absolutely fantastic returns from this year. I was well into that lineup. I mean, you'd shared it with me before it got announced, but I was like, yes, let's go with that. Trees then. So can you see what's happening with Trees or not? See what the fuck's going on with Trees?
Yeah. I mean, if something goes wrong in the next sort of 8 hours or so, then Shifty will have to do an edit. But so as we record this, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Wednesday, the announcement will go out. So highlights, probably I think it's probably the best Wednesday lineup I've ever booked at Trees. It's headlined by Pup with Sprints underneath them, The Dirty Nil, one of my favourite bands, playing, and fucking loads of others. Not a sales pitch. This is pretty much sold out that day. So if you want to come for 4 days, including that Wednesday, you got to move now. Alkaline Trio headlining Thursday night main stage, back for the second time at Trees after 11 years. Hopefully no dramas this time. If you didn't come and see us on the live tour, you don't know the full story of that, but it was wild. I'm kind of hoping the same crew turn up with them so I can kind of meet my mate again, if you remember that guy, Guff. I don't know if that will be the case or not. Yeah, and sorry if people are wondering why the in-joke. It's your fault for not coming to see us live, if you're not sure what we're talking about. Other bands are Glassjaw, never played Trees before, which feels weird. Super Heaven, I've been after for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Lambrini Girls, High Vis, Dinosaur Pileup, Bad Nerves, Nothing is another one I've been after for years. Horror, House of Protection, Scowl, Truck Violence. I mean, I could basically go on and on and on. I think it's got the most strength in depth of any 2000 Trees lineup we've ever had. I feel like it's much stronger in depth than last year. Last year was very top heavy, and obviously at the time I wasn't selling the lineup to anyone as a top heavy lineup, but yeah. I really did spend all my money at the top last year and had to really make the budget work hard for itself for the rest of the lineup. I feel like this year the sort of Cave and the Axiom are stacked with really strong headliners. So like Super Heaven will and Dinosaur Pileup are Axiom headliners. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like we're in a really good place. Still got a way to go in terms of the lineup. Fucking a lot of bands to book, but I'm feeling good about it.
Nice start to it. Absolutely nice start to it. It's good. I mean, it's like fuck it. Here we go again. I mean, it's like I can't believe as well, because I mean we might get into it with the Damnation stuff, but I'm trying to pull together this announcement for if I could do something at this weekend's festival, and it's just like back in that is, even if it's possible, it's like then ticket sales go on sale on Tuesday, and it's like there's a 24-hour period. you're not trying to sell tickets to people, and you're not straight back into the next one. You're just like, this is fucking wild. Why does it need to be 24 hours only? It's
yeah.
Mate.
I understand exactly what you just said there, because it's basically like, can I just have a little break from booking bands or selling tickets? It's always it's a 12-month thing.
That is a job, sir, and no busier than what it is right now. So you're happy with that? Trees and Arctangent are where you want them to be just now, when things are shaping up well for next year?
Yeah, really happy. And as we've talked about many times, the lineup's important, but the sales are the ultimate thing that you care about. You can't be any other way.
Yeah.
And we're smashing it at the moment. I was just staring at the graph. So Si sends a graph around every few days when tickets are on sale. I was just staring at it this morning, being like, yeah, this is good.
It's got honestly,
it's us compared against the last 3-4 years, and we're killing them all, so it's good.
And the pre-sales, again, I will harp on about this for the rest of my days, because this is a year I've enjoyed amazing. No pre-sales, early birds, blind birds, whatever, just early sales. And what a difference it is to just put together the year and not just continually worry about not making ends meet. It's just a pleasure. I mean, the last few weeks with Damnation sales have been fucking dog shit. I mean, absolute nonsense. I mean, pathetic, worst I've ever seen, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the difference between, will we get to the sold out as fuck sign or not? Probably not. But in the grand scale of things, being 150 tickets short of a sellout, it's like, okay, I can live with that. And I'll live with that forever for the rest of the time. So please, when these do come and sale, when you're listening to this fucking Tuesday next week, get your asses back on that hype train for Damnation 2026. But before that, James, before that, we have 2025 to deal with.
And we are excited. I am excited.
We are. We will get excited, but let's deal with some of the shit first. The last time I spoke, I mean, I ended the last podcast on my knees. I mean, on my knees, like worshipping crippling alcoholism. It was so bad actually that I almost would get edited. I almost was like, this is going to come out. I just sound like a fucking fanny. I just sound like a fanboy who's then just been dumped. Know what I mean? Like some heartbroken wee.
So tell us what, for the people that are not, there will be plenty of people that don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So in the on the record section at the end of the last episode, you went mad for this band, Crippling Alcoholism.
Yes.
Put them on the record
for the second time. For the second time, and then they pulled out for reasons that I'll get into. But I mean, go back to the start with this band. This was only the tail end of last year. I was sort of, when I heard Love in a Paddy Trim, and they never, when I contacted Crippling Alcoholism when we first played Damnation, they didn't even have an agent. It was like nothing had been sorted. It was just one of these, like, that album had made some waves in the sort of niche, but some places like the Damnation Forum. And then I finally heard it and I was like, I don't care if this band doesn't sell a ticket for Damnation. I am excited about them. I think other people would be excited about them. We should get them over to Europe, the UK, for the first time. And that's how it went. And they were booked. They were going to be in a Frail Body package. And they were booked and were come across and doing Damnation and then some other UK dates. Got bad news a few months back that Frail Body couldn't make it for whatever reason. I mean, bands cancel festivals all the time. It's part and parcel of what happens. And I was like, when I got the news, like, oh shit, make sure, please, Crippling Alcoholism are still coming. They're still coming. And they were. And as far as I'm aware, the tour sold pretty well throughout the UK. And there was building levels of excitement for Damnation, and then out the blue we just get told they're pulling. And there wasn't a great deal that anyone could do about it. It was, again, as I just said, the band cancellations happen all the time. It's not personal. It's not something you need to give up to. But usually it's fucking somebody's injured themselves, somebody in the band's get sick, there's been some sort of fallout, they've been cancelled. I mean, there's a million reasons that are quite public. You just can't get around that. And then sometimes you get some people just make a decision, like Toxic Holocaust just decided they wanted to tour the US with Dark Angel instead, which are a bit more the stick in the gut, a wee bit more, because again, they're just getting dumped. Like, you shouldn't agree to something, and then we would never just dump a band off lineup because it suited us to take another band on, but bands do that to you as well. And again, it's just the business we're in. This one just seems so needless. It just seemed like, as they put it themselves, it was miscalculations. That's their words, miscalculations. It looked like we were going to lose money that we didn't want to lose, so we're just not doing it. Absolute choice. And from my point of view as a promoter, and the biggest promoter that was the biggest show, it was like they never even gave us a chance to, whoever made that, they never even gave us a chance to, like, well, how do we fix it? I mean, the number that was going about, that I heard that could be potentially lost in a worst case scenario, was not insurmountable. It was not like, oh my God, this is like, no one can ever bounce back for this kind of loss. It was like, okay, the fee at Damnation, when it was agreed as them doing tour support for Frail Body, wasn't changing anybody's life, but there was scope there to come to me and say, look, this is what's happening, we're in a bad spot, any chance? Anything we could do, I'd offered. I'd have helped him out with a wee bit more money. I could have maybe got him some hotel rooms. We could have tried to think out the box, got a Jim Bob poster done for them for free that they could have sold. I mean, I think if they'd done their merch right, they could have taken 4, 5, 6 grand easily, without any effort at the Damnation merch table. And we could have given them all of that. We didn't take any cut from it. And I mean, that's just Damnation. If they'd went to the Glasgow promoter, the Bristol promoter, the London promoter, and everybody just chipped in a wee bit extra, if the shows were going to make money, it could have been saved in my eyes. I was like, there was no good reason to it, wasn't it? As I say, it wasn't a figure that was there, like nothing could be done to reduce the damages in it, and just miscalculations. It seemed like somebody had advised them to, you know what, sack this one off and just go across and hit Roadburn and do it all again. And I mean, I just don't know how much damage that's done to their reputation. I mean, these are all your day oneers. These people that have bought the tickets to Bristol and London and Glasgow are the guys that have been shouting about you, the guys that have been on the internet and bigging you up. And there's, I'm a bit like, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, this is a podcast, two promoters talking to each other, and also I know at least 10 other promoters that listen to this podcast that are in our niche, our world, the book events, our signs that are going to be like, well, you don't want to be putting bands on a poster that you have to buy. I've got laminates now. I've got thousands of pounds worth of laminates that have crippling alcoholism on the laminate. I saved the merch by a couple hours. It was going to print that afternoon, and I got it stopped and managed to get them skew onto it. It's like, you don't want it as a promoter. If it's a choice, you lose a band, that's part of the business. But somebody's choosing, you're being advised just to cancel a tour without any sort of, let's try and save it just seems mad.
Yeah, it does. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know where the band or their team think they're going to end up. And maybe a Damnation set, or me and you talking about them on Two Promoters One Pod, is small fry and where they see themselves, and we don't matter to them, and that's fine. And if that's the case, then that's the case. But actually, if you look at a band like Dimscure and how much of an effect this podcast and your support has had on that band, I think Crippling Alcoholism is another example of that. You're basically the band's biggest supporter in the UK, or one of their biggest supporters at least. It felt really fucking, I mean, it's bad timing with the on the record thing. You clearly have genuine love for the band. You were going to go to the tonight, now.
With the feet down
now,
like that.
you were supposed to be at their show in Glasgow, right, as we record now. So it's a real kicker for that, and it doesn't, I'm not sure how they come back from that with some of us in the independent sort of alternative metal and rock world. It feels like a shitty thing to do at the last minute.
Yeah, because you're not my dad, and you've got your own business to run, and it's not a case like, oh, well, you upset my pal Gavin, I'm not good. But it doesn't. It's had no positive impact on you in thinking about booking the Crippling Alcoholism in future. Because you, the same as any other promoter, like, well, I'd rather see them make it to the UK first before we start putting numbers and offers. Yeah, you still with me? Did I lose you there?
Yeah, no, you cut out. Sorry. Say that last sentence again.
Yeah, I'm saying like that whole. It's not a good, like, there you go. You run Art Tangent. Art Tangent is prime ground for a band like Crippling Alcoholism. But now you've got, and without ever speaking to you about it, because you were a no man at the time, but you must have second thoughts, some doubts about, right, okay, is that a band I want to put in the poster with who didn't make it across the last time with any sort of valid reason?
Yeah, and also just from a personal perspective, I'm pretty hurt on your behalf about the whole thing, really. So it doesn't. Yeah, it's not. I mean that. It's like it's not a great situation. I don't know how hard to put the boot in. Really, they're just a small band in the general scheme of things. I guess they think they've made the right decision. But yeah, it's weird because, like you say, if they'd come to you because you're so invested in it, if they come to you and said, you're having a good year as well, aren't you? Please give us $2 more grand because we're fucked. You might have found it down the back of the
But James, let's look at it. $2 more grand, Foxy.
down the back of the private gym or in the horse box. Sorry.
It was weird as well. I mean, I tell you, I was a lot of mellowed about this whole situation in the week and a half since it happened. Largely because of the reaction to Dimscure. It went down. No one wanted to lose Crippling Alcoholism. I especially didn't want to lose Crippling Alcoholism. Obviously, I'm going to be on here waxing lyrical about them if I was bothered about they were just going to pull it or not. So that was a sore one, but Dimscure it was like the second wave of the tsunami, because it was like the podcast listeners were in the first one when it mentioned, it was like, oh my God, this band. And then we saw what happened at Art Tangent with 3,000 people in a tent for them. And then it was people who don't listen to the podcast, then now checking it out because they're on a poster at a gig they're going to. And it was the exact same reaction again by a new bunch of fans. And I checked the time it was like 4,000 listeners or whatever. And the last time I checked, it was closer to 5,000. So again, it was that other surge of people towards that band. And it's always, that reaction will always be the same because they're that good. I don't know, there's a couple of cabbages that said they don't sound like Amon Ra. I'm like, have you ever heard Amon Ra? I mean, there's a lot that sounds like Amon Ra in their music, but it's that reaction of like people being excited, genuinely excited about chance to catch Dimscure has helped that situation
a lot. You've not made the clashes better, have you, though?
I mean, for a lot of people, like, you've just gave me a clash. Beforehand, I was like, I've made my peace and I'm going to go and say, but you've just given me a clash now, because, I mean, I was all in Portrait of Guilt even, and now I want to go and see Dimscure. I mean, it's mad to say, this band I've been kicking about for fucking 6 months, but that room is going to be mobbed for them. Mobbed.
Yeah, it's great. I actually don't know what I'm going to do for that, because that is a real clash. So we'll see.
Aye, because I mean, you get a few. I mean, I was trying to headlock you into the Crippling Alcoholism, and you're like, I'm not quite getting it. I'm like, yes, you are, James. They're amazing. You love them. You're like, do I though?
Talking of clashes, do you know what? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Do you know what we're doing with the? I feel like I'm going to get in trouble here with the Damnation app. Me and my 13 friends that are going to Damnation have got Darren from Meliora secretly, basically, he's coded in the background so that we can see what each one of us is going to watch on our Clash Finder. Basically, there's 13 of us, and I can see what my brother is going to watch, and all the other 12. And we've been doing it today. We've basically, there's a WhatsApp group of us getting this. It's like I don't know what you call it when you test an app, but we're testing the fucking app. So next year, the idea being that they can roll it out to, Arctangent, Trees, and Damnation. It's quite a cool feature, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really invested in the app, and I think the more people getting turned on, they're investing in it too. It's a cracking tool, and people are enjoying using it. So I'm sure that Darren and the team Melora will continue to keep adding cool wee features, and that will be a cool feature. Same with your mates away to see at the same time, especially something larger than Damnation, where the stages might be a fair chunk apart, and you're a bit like, all right, where are they? And I'm in real time, or they're away watching whoever in the third tent. So there was that. What I mentioned on the last pod as well was that banking bollocks, and everyone came out, they're like, use Wise or use Revolut. So I've looked into that, and we will be using better banks for international transfers. Because here's another one. I sent money to Brody Queen in the US, and I paid the fee that I had to send it. And a couple of days later, they told me it hadn't been received, and I was like, that's never a message you want to hear. And I investigated. It turned out the American bank rejected it. They never gave an explanation why and sent it back. By the time that I got the money back, let's say I'm going to pick a number. Let's just say 1,000. It wasn't 1,000, but let's just say I sent £1,000. By the time the £1,000 came back to me, it was £900. So I've lost £30 or £35 for the privilege of sending it. And then by the time they got it, transferred it for US dollars back into Great British pounds, sent it to me, I lost £70 in the currency, the transaction. And I'm just going to my bank like, come on. I mean, any other company that field, this would be fraud. you're just taking £100 from me between the two of yous. And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do about the fact that the American band. But I said, why did they take the money? If they rejected, just give me back my money. And then even if you say, well, we need to pay the £30. But then they got to it, I end up having an argument. I said, like, okay, forget the American bank. You guys just give me my £35 back for no completeness, even in good faith. There's hundreds of thousands of pounds going to this bank in good faith. Just give me my £35 back because you know for a fact you can see it in front of you. It was rejected. The service wasn't complete. No, we can't do that. Like, no, you can. You don't want to do it. So like,
are you actually on the phone to them?
Aye. Because sometimes I can let a lot slide in life, and money is not usually the thing that gets me worked up, but someone stealing from me, just utterly taking the piss. And see that whole, there's nothing I hate more than, we can't do that. Like I see that, like you got a restaurant, we can't do that with the thing. No, you can do it. You just don't. You're not going to. I mean, stop acting like you don't have a choice. Like Starling Bank can send me a goodwill gesture of £35. You've got the power to do that. You just don't want to do it because you'd rather keep my £35. Just be honest about it. Like, don't. That's what I'm saying to the women on the phone. Is that just be honest. Just say you want to keep my £35, and that's it. Oh well, it's not actually like that, Mr. McInally. I'm like, for fuck's sake, it's exactly like that. So I end up I paid it with PayPal, and that's just, I don't even know how legal that is, because now I need to do this paperwork to my accountant to show it's gone through PayPal, and then I'm thinking PayPal's the fee's £2.99, so why would I not just use PayPal for all these and then do the paperwork? I'm not getting another banking fucking situation, but I was just like, there's no way. Because like the next time you try, I'm like, I'm not trying again. I don't even know why it was rejected. So I'll try again and lose another £100 until I'm destitute. Fucking absolute idiots, man. Absolute idiots. So that's my latest banking headache. So I've got all that to look forward to times 2 when I'm doing all the settlements as well. So don't be a promoter.
Mate, I'm sure that'll be next week. You'll be lively by then. That'd be fine.
I've said to Paul, so we're talking Tuesday night for next week, if we can get Paul on and do a bit of a Damnation debrief, and hopefully by that point, the next year's tickets will be in sale and we'll be in a bit of a high from that and hopefully celebrating. So, Jesus, it seems weird to be talking about post-Damnation right now, but it is right there.
Yeah, these things come and go quite quickly, so let's enjoy it as much as we can.
I will be. I will.
So, what else is... so today we got a bunch of audience questions for you, and then you'll know. I want you to talk a bit later on about sort of what the next 3 days look like, what tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday look like to you. I'm genuinely interested in that, and anything else Damnation related that doesn't come up in the questions. Is there anything else happened sort of this week?
Today's a weird one. So sort of shit gets real today. You know what I mean? Because I was up first thing this morning, getting through the emails, calls for Skiddle about scanners for both Night of Salvation and then the weekend itself. On the phone to Marios, Angela, Fro, them all for different reasons. Guest list, fucking this is the time when the guest list just come in thick and fast, and everybody's coming this year. It's like fucking Biffy Clyro's agent and Bring Me Horizon's agent and fucking Sleep's agent and all these people that I've never been before. But like, oh, this is the year I'm just going to go up and check out Damnation. So there's a lot of new faces that we've kind of dealt with that I'm looking forward to meeting. Finally seeing them and be like, all right, okay, nice to put a face to the name. So that's good. The merch, the pre-sales, that was all getting delivered today, so people were getting their merch for that. I'm pretty excited to see that. The whole merch situation, we've got Maka and Natasha on, and it's kind of taking a real leap forward now. They're really trying to provide card readers and at Wi-Fi and do the merch the way you would get it at an Art Tangent or 2000 Trees, for example. So that's a bit nerve-wracking as well, because there's a lot that can go wrong. But again, it's one of those things we'll just keep trying to edge it forward with the small improvements. So well chuffed that the effort that Maka and Natasha are putting in for that. And then today, I mean, before I came on this call, I was loading up a fucking van with pot noodles and beers and a new fridge for the catering van. And aye, that takes me to now. I'm going to come off this call, pack my own personal bag, do a recce, get this computer. I'm taking this with me, and get it all packed into the van for tomorrow morning, get the kids to school, pick up my brother, drive to Beccarina. And that's where I'll be as of tomorrow, doing that.
Fucking yes, mate.
Mate, it's, as I say, it's quite, it's just, at this point, it just feels like it's quite, it's all happening. It's just like, even we'll be in here for an hour and a half, you come off, you go click into the inbox again about, right, back into that, whenever. I know I said this, but can my pal have AAA and could do this with, like, aye, I saw the next things from we're going to chat about is ISO. I mean, even they guys, they're like, this is the list we've got for us. Can we get this size of space for a stall? I mean, them and Lowe's Brews being there over the weekend is going to be absolutely fantastic. But ISO merch as well. But okay, we're here for 2 days. It's the best part, 6,000 in each day. Let's bring the big boy setup and have it all there ready to go for that customer base, for the Damnation fan base. So my shout out to them for today would be, check them out at Damnation. They have been long-term, longest supporters we've had. I think it's like 12 or 13 years they've been with us, Ali and the team, and their business is absolutely flying. If you've been on their website at all since we started shouting them out, you'll see them stuff they've got, the range they've got, and the prices they can keep some of their stuff to. So make sure you check them out. Go and say hello to Ali and his team. Give them a high five. And I think they're doing something with EF. They've got some sort of collab happening with EF as well about their Hello Scotland release. Don't know if that's available at theirs, but go on and check it out and make sure you tell them that we sent you. Give them a bit of support, because they support us, and they're fucking fantastic guys. You'll see what I mean when you go in and say hello to them.
Yeah, looking forward to saying hi myself. Okay, let's should we have some questions then? There was lots. Yeah,
let's do some questions for the Damnation public.
Okay, so Richard Winton asks, I mean, we've already touched on this, I guess, but let's just see if you've got anything else to add. Compared to previous years, how smooth has the organisation of the festival been for you and your team? I'm just curious whether Gav feels like they're hitting a sweet spot now, or whether there's things that may need a slight improvement that were more stressful than they should have been.
A bit of both is the answer to that, Richard, because we are, I mean, she's up in front of me. I've got laminated dressing room signage for the bands, because when we went down last year, all our dressing rooms have got screens outside them, and they get up, the graphics get uploaded to the screens, but more often than not, one or two die, or we have to wait and someone else to actually go up and upload them. So then you've got people trying to put riders in rooms, no idea who's where. So that's just one small thing. Let's take these down, have them as a safety net, as a fallback. As soon as I get there tomorrow, I can put these up in every room, and everybody can just go about their job, doing what they need to do without trying to chase Angela or me. So, well, who's in dressing room or the balcony number 4? So something like that is how you make small improvements when you identify the problem for the year before. And we've got lots of that. There's another 20 examples of stuff that we have done that has made it smoother and more professional leading up to this. And Angela's got day sheets for every band. We always advance the production sheet goes out, but it's a very generic, this is everything that's available at Damnation, this will be when you're on, the equipment on stage. Angela's got it down to each band, like, this is your driver, this is the hotel your room, that's the Wi-Fi code for your room, this is the hotel reference number. So every band, when they get a sheet, they come here, they don't need to then be chased out. So things like that are all improvements that have made it smoother. Still caught out a wee bit about the scope of how an extra day's worth of bands, how demanding that is, and advancing it. And Angela would be the first time herself. She was on tour with 3 bands for 2 weeks running up to this period, and I'm sure she'd be the first to say next year she would block that period off and have it for Damnation rather than being on tour, because she's given herself the workload that's not, it's not optimum, is it, to be up at 5 in the morning still trying to get the hotel reference numbers on the sheets. So another lesson learned there. But I'm feeling so far that it's the most organised we have ever been by a country mile. And if it was a 1-day damnation, I would be sitting here with nothing to do. But we have been a 2-day damnation. It's there's twice the amount of bands to be dealing with, twice the amount of advancing question, queries, demands. The Saturday to the Sunday's weirdly different. I mean, the Saturday's like a lot of bands on their headline tours with headline expectations and demands. Perturbator, Orbit Culture, Death Heaven, High and Fire. They are all on their own headline tours, and they're all showing up gig after gig and getting everything their own way, as they should, because of the headliner. They can't all have everything their own way at Damnation, because it's not possible with others that are in the day. The Sunday, that isn't the case. It's a lot of one-off fly-ins and one-off shows with these bands. So they're a bit like, they're not in the, right, okay, this is the whole production we've bought and paid for to bring in this UK tour, so we want that all on stage. So we're getting this very difficult pinch point with so much production with these bands, Perturbators and Orbit Cultures, trying to make use of the Saturday and almost none of it on the Sunday. So it's a weird spot as well, because both days are as popular as each other. I mean, ticket sales are almost within 10 sales of each other, even in the day tickets. But the demands of doing the Saturday against the demands of doing the Sunday are significantly different.
Good answer. I'm concerned, mate, that Party Gav's not coming to see me on Friday night. This all seems to be leading up to you being all sensible on Friday.
Sensible, a wee bit. I'll try, James. I'll try my best for you, mate. I'll try my best. Don't worry, it's all my livelihood and my future in the line. But I'll party with you until 4 in the morning.
That's what I do. That's what I do for you. I'm only asking for the same in return. Okay. My brother Rob says, if money wasn't a factor, so this kind of follows on from that question, from the previous question. If money wasn't a factor, what job would you like to bring someone in to do, i.e. something that you don't have to do anymore?
A PA. I would like an assistant. I would like. I feel like I'm good at the creative stuff, the interest. But even as an editor, actually, I was good at the right. Okay, let's take this story in this angle. Let's use this headline, get the pictures, get them doing that with us, and let's do this campaign. And I was good at it. And when I get more time to think about it, I get better at it. And what I'm terrible at, utterly useless at, is bookkeeping, invoice chasing, diaries, appointments, all the stuff that blows life at me. I am really quite poor at keeping on top of the paperwork, which can lead to a situation like we had in the last few weeks where I'm going through months and months and months worth of emails to double check details that I've made with bands and what I've promised them, what I haven't promised them, and who had accommodation. I feel like if I had a PA, that all that stuff could just be sorted, and I could just spend more time doing shit like coming up with merch ideas and production ideas and ways to promote Damnation differently. So if I had the money, which at the minute I don't, just have like just hire someone to be. I mean, the Damnation is doing well, but I don't know if I like here's an annual salary for somebody to just come in and be my assistant is realistic, and it's really up to me probably to just be better at that. It's not like I'm incapable of doing it. It just bores the fucking life at me.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I think you can make more money by having some time to actually do the money-making things, can't you? Just time to think, or time to concentrate on merch, or concentrate on sales, or concentrate on booking bands, which is what drives it all. I mean, I don't have a PA, but just the people that work, like people like Sarah and Mitch, have taken so much of the stuff that some of the things you just mentioned, like bookkeeping, away from me, that it gives you time to, book that many bands in that short space of time or whatever. So I think it's a good answer. Maybe next year, who knows?
Maybe. I mean, Angela's creeping desperately close to what you would call it, even for a short period. So let's continue in that track.
Okay, good. Tamar Elderton asks, I'd love to hear more about cost differences between historic events and this year's event. I didn't run any of these questions by you, so if you don't want to answer any,
that touches on what I was saying earlier. I mean, a lot of these things I'm doing, I'm winging them. Basically, I came onto this, I had a quick scan it, I never got a chance to see the questions. This touches on the point I made earlier. Damnation's entire budget. I think so. Damnation's entire budget for the first year. That's the bands. This is everything. The lights, so what we would call production, the stage, the PA and the lights. You could do Damnation a Damnation 2005 11 times over. With the costs from this year to put the stage, the lights, and the sound in. No bands, nothing else. No security, no fencing, no toilets, just the production. You see an empty stage. The cost of that, I could do Damnation 2005 11 times over with every cost in total. That's the differences in what we're doing. I mean, Spectral Wound, Brody Queen, those type of bands, their fee is on par with the cost to book the entire 2005 lineup. That's the difference that we're talking about. And cost of everything. I mean, we've touched, I mean, if you've not heard the exact cost of festivals, we go into a lot of this in a lot of detail about the production going up and staff going up. I mean, security, I mean, fuck it, when we started, you get security for like 10, 11 quid an hour. It's like if you can get security now for £20, less than £20 an hour, you're doing cartwheels because it's expensive as it. And that's just across the board with everything. And everything, I mean, like, I hired radios today and I saw the invoice come through, and even radios are 10% up, 15% up, and I mean, we've changed the radio industry. You know what I mean? It's like, how's it 15% more expensive to get radios in 2025 than it was in 2024? But everything, mojo barrier, accessibility platforms, tents, security, it's all going up, and ticket sales. I mean, ticket prices. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I think that £85 per day for Damnation is a very, very reasonable price. I feel like in both directions. I feel it's a reasonable price for me to ask for, and I feel it's a reasonable price for a fan to pay. And I feel like if it goes to 100, they're a bit like, okay, well, I can go see Metallica for 100 in a stadium. So I might get higher, but the cost of everything behind the scenes are a lot. I mean, if it's 8 times more expensive for your ticket, like I said earlier, it's 23 times more expensive for me to put on Damnation than it was in 2005. So a lot's happened in 20 years, and you've said the same.
Yeah, but as a business decision, I mean, I hope I'm okay to ask this. You comparing last year to this year, you've gone to 2 days. And obviously, I had to sell well for that to be an effective strategy. It has sold well, and now it's sold well. A very rough back of the fag packet I would guess, I don't know this to be true, but your income is doubling because it's 2 days. I mean, forget the Night of Salvation element of it, and your costs are not doubling. Although costs are a bit mad in the industry, they're not doubling because you can hire your pyro for 2 days instead of 1, and it's not double the cost.
Yeah, or the minimum, because even though that is, say, the tents are up in the £6.5 or £7 to get the 2 outside tents up, it's the same price if I use them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or if I just use them Saturday. So
right.
So, and that's the best example. The mojo barrier, the tents, I'm trying to think, maybe the fencing, sort of stuff like that has got a sort of weekend price. That the production doesn't, unfortunately, when you put that PA system in. I'd like it to be like, okay, I'm paying for the weekend, but there is a supplement. It's not an extra 100. You don't pay, let's call 20 grand for the PA system. You don't pay 40 grand to use it the Sunday. Maybe you pay 30. So, that's that. I mean, that's been a bit of an eye opener actually for me. That firstly, you need to be in a position that the fans are going to go with you to pay, because now you're asking for 155 quid for the ticket. So, as you say, you need to be in a position that the fans are willing to come with you at that price, because that's some serious money for your 2 days. And if you are on that, yes, your margins go. If the margins in your first day are that to get a profit, by the time you go to the second day, they're more like that to get a profit.
Yeah.
So, but that's not. That's not the difference. And I mean, that would have been the same in 2005. You know what I mean? So it's just that we were doing one day, and then when you get to that point, they're like, oh, we'll try it, and it was a risk. And who knows? It's still not happened yet. Let's see how our fan base think about it. I hope I do, because it's 2 days next year, so I hope everyone's back on board for it to go again, because it's been a massive relief, and the break-even point does plummet from where it is in one day. One day's the most expensive way to try and do it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Evan Prendergast asks, have there been any weird, awkward, out of the ordinary, or just plain ridiculous requests from any of the bands so far this year?
It's funny because I don't know if you saw this. Yeah, it's a really, the last pod we'd done, and I was talking about journalism. I thought, here's naively, I thought coming out of the last pod, the only thing I was going to remember is your story about Cambodia. You making up a story about fucking Cambodia was going to be like what else can you possibly take for that episode? And everybody went for Gav and the journalism thing. And varying views of totally back everything he says to, you're being a bit harsh to, I disagree. Which I welcome them all. But just as I said that, there was a feature that came out from a writer at Skiddle, Tom Hurst, I believe his name is, about the very first Damnation. And the whole feature is about where it came from, the thought process, the booking process, the hurdles, and what we built from it 20 years later. And it was fucking brilliant. The best thing I've read about Damnation in years. It was excellent. Is an example of everything I'd like to see more often across for all festivals. Just interesting takes and angles. One less top 10 bands to see at this year's Art Tangent. Top 10 bands to see this year's 2000 Trees. It's just like, if you see another 10 outlets doing that, maybe you try doing something with a different angle like this guy Tom Hurst has come up with. And it was brilliant. So,
mate, what is brilliant is your ability to take a question that has nothing to do with journalism and start talking about fucking journalism. How are we back on this
I was
again?
sitting there going, why am I talking this? Well, this is the reason I'm talking it, because there was a party like the Entombed Rider was so ridiculous. And I make the point, I quote it like that last one, 34 different signage fillers and postcards and socks and iron press and all that. And just when I was reading that and thinking back of it in 2005 for Riders, nothing like that now. Nothing. I mean, these bands that cost fucking 50 times more than what Entombed ever cost. Everybody's just case of beer, bottle of spirits, some kombucha, fucking ginger shots, towels, and we'll get on with our tour. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want ridiculous requests, but that's why I could have that keep in mind there, James. I actually forgot myself when I was talking.
Because your brain was going, fuck yeah, journalism. Yes.
Started to get tingly, like, oh no, here we go. Gav, don't put off me. Do not put off.
Like...
So, no, sorry, Evan, there's been nothing. Some of the demands for production, like I sort of talked about on the Saturday, bands want to do more with a production than is possible at any festival, never mind just something like Damnation.
Mate, have you looked at Perturbator's rider yet?
I just Marius is dealing with that. But what I've been informed is they're going to come on site and see what's available to do and what's not. But they know the restrictions of that. Just the size of the production of what it brings. So I mean, I hope to God they can make it work with the time restrictions that are there and the space restrictions are there. They certainly are going to give it a stab, but they're going to be realistic about the fact that they're not.
Just to give everyone the back, because obviously we kind of talked about this briefly recently, but I couldn't mention that I'd booked Perturbator. So I have seen the rider, and I sent the rider to our production manager, Matt, who basically said to me, fucking hell, probably don't book them. And I was like, okay, cool. And then like a month later, I was just like, I'm booking them and we'll make it work. It will be fine.
Yeah.
So Sarah's now listening to this, fucking flipping her laptop off the table, being like, for fuck's sake. But
well, one thing I can assure
guys.
you, Sarah, and the production team at Art Tangent, is they seem, from what I've been told, very understanding as a band management crew. They're aware that not everything's always possible in restricted spaces.
I mean, I hope it is possible, because I can't wait to see it. It will be fucking cool. So yeah. Okay, good. Next question. Jack Fryer. He says, does Gav have any regrets about making the Night of Salvation lineup a secret?
That's an interesting question. What's your views in the Night of Salvation being secret?
Do you want my honest?
Yeah, go for it. Honest, of course.
I don't like it. As a festival goer, I want to know who I'm seeing. I don't really like secret sets, although there is going to be one secret set at Trees this year. I've done one at Arc Tangent in the past. I don't really like them. I want to know who's playing. I do know who's playing Night of Salvation, because you told me a couple of months ago. But for me, as a fan, regardless of whether or not it's sold out or whatever, I don't mean you should tell people so they know whether they want to buy a ticket. I love the fact that they have to blind buy. That's great. It gives the hardcore. But now I've blind bought, tell me the fucking lineup. I want the lineup.
Okay. No, that's not okay. I'm telling you the lineup. That's okay. I accept that. Here's the first thing I would say about, well, two reasons why it happened, and I'll take, like, so It was to allow. We knew that Night of Salvation in a room that small would sell out. We, even in the very first time we done it in Leeds in 2021, the big one, we sold 600 tickets in a day. So after that, even the two at the Beck, which, okay, they'd never filled that entire space. They still do a couple of thousand tickets. So even though we were very honest, we said it's not going to be that level of band, that level of production, and that's why you're not paying £85 for it, you're paying 30. We still knew it was going to sell out. And then I'm not sure I knew it was going to be 16 minutes it was going to sell out, but I knew it was going to sell out. So the first things like I wanted, and I said that to people, I want people that are in, not people that fancy coming along because one of their bands are playing. The Night of Salvation, something for diehard Damnation fans to come down and enjoy the night before it all kicks off. If they've travelled up for, I want those people that have been with Damnation for a long time to have the tickets before people go, oh yes, Dead Guy are my favourite band and I'm going to get to see that album. So that was my first thinking of it. And then after that, I was like, well, it's just a bit different. It's a bit like once you're in anyway. Does it really matter that much? My thinking, does it really matter that much whether you know or you don't know? Okay, it's something a wee bit different. It's a bit quirky. However, what I'm not doing it for is to hold some sort of power over it. I feel like, oh, I know something you don't know. I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. I know hundreds of stuff you don't know, especially about Damnation. So I don't need to know the Night of Salvation to hold some weird power over you. And I don't like that. I see some people that are getting a bit, this is a note I'd rather know. But I just feel like we're so far in it now. I'm a bit like, do I just say or do I not just say? And I don't have a strong opinion on it one way
You're
or
not
another.
going to give us a podcast exclusive.
Well, a podcast exclusive, Dead Guy are playing their new album. There's some wild rumours that Conjurer are going to do Maya, which would be fucking unbelievable if that were true. People are saying that Raging Speedhorn. People are saying Raging Speedhorn are playing, and if they were, I assume they would only do their first two albums. And the last band has never been mentioned really by anyone, which is a strange one because it's not that it seems obvious, but it's like something that's entirely possible. If Gav's wanting all that effort to get that band to reform, you'd think he would make some fucking effort to get them to play, you know what I mean? So it's aye, it's going to be fucking brilliant. The lineup's class. It's exactly what I said it was at the start. If you think you're going to get Pig Destroyer doing Terrifier, and I'm not charging you 50 or 60 quid for that, you're off your fucking mind. But what's on that poster for 30 odd quid is worth every single penny, and it will be a night of total carnage and a lot of fun and a good start, and let those bands warm themselves up for the weekend ahead.
Can't wait. So let me ask you a question as a punter. So what time should, in an ideal world, what time should you arrive at Night of Salvation, would you say?
So those are six. I think the first band, so to me, it's just treated as if all four, this is genuine, all four bands are like headliners, openers and headliners. They're all being paid the same, they're all got the same set length, they're using the same dressing room. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant to do with bands that you can work with that. Like no one is dick swinging. And that's a power you can have as a promoter when you take an offer to a band when the venue's already sold out. I mean, you might come and play this completely sold out event that you do to put no effort into whatsoever. You don't need to promote it, don't need to mention it. In fact, don't mention it because it's a secret. Just show up to 500 people, smash the place and sell your merch. And the bands were up for it, and there has been no ego, which is just that's what you want before you start a festival. Well, probably will be a lot of clashing egos over the weekend. So 6 o'clock, I believe, Dead Guy are the first band on at 6:30 and go from there. Should be done, tied up, done and dusted by 11. It is next door to a pub. It's adjoined to a pub, so that you can come and go as you please. We made it try to make it as comfortable as possible. Your band comes on, it maybe no up your street, or you just don't. You fancy a break from the getting absolutely battered. You can nip 10 feet to your left and sit down and get a couple of pints in the pub next door as well. So should be a great night. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes, how it all pans out. Maybe next year, if we go with this format again, we make it blind bird to allow the diehards to get the tickets, and then maybe announce it. I mean, if it annoys people, I'm not doing this to annoy anyone.
Good. And then Satan's Hollow afterwards, yeah?
Not a fucking hope, mate. If I want you to put your hand on my shoulder if I'm at Satan's Hollow on the Friday night, say, Gavin, go home, mate. You're going to ruin this for yourself. I don't, honestly, Jay, so say this, you're a machine. I just don't have that in me.
Ah, bollocks. That's not true. Okay, Obi Jones asks, I'd be interested in knowing the thought process behind what bands you think suit the bill and how you make those decisions. I read that question really badly. What bands you think suit the bill and how you make those decisions? For example, why would you not book Lamb of God but you would try to book Lorna Shore. Have you said you would try to book Lorna Shore? Is that true?
I think I mentioned one of the ones, like, it's before they were obviously the size they are now, which is fucking huge. That we did. I made an inquiry one time, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when they were on the rocket ship up. But then we'd book a lot of sort of deathcore bands that are not going to be Damnation's headliner, per se, you know what I mean? So if you've got your Despised, Icon and Distant, that people like it. We're trying to, the fact we've booked a deathcore band for next year also, that I hope we could get to announce over the weekend. If we don't this weekend, they will be announced quite soon. It suits, they go down well. People enjoy a bit of deathcore in the mix with everything else that's there. Well, I'm not sure, obviously, you've got your haters because they've become so big, and it's a bit like, they don't particularly fit with Damnation maybe now because they're just so fucking big in the mainstream. It's an odd comparison to Lamb of God. I mean, Lamb of God, it's like, I don't know. It's difficult to tell what suits your festival and what doesn't. Sometimes there is a wee bit of trial and error, and sometimes you get a band on your bill, you're a bit like, I'm not sure about it, and then they go down an absolute fucking treat. And then sometimes you get a band that you're like, oh, this will be the world's best booking, and they're kind of, people are a wee bit dismissive of. So it's I don't know. I mean, how would you describe it? How when you know the band suits your festival and doesn't? It's a gut feeling for a lot of it.
Well, and you are the only person in the entire universe that's allowed to decide that. So if you say Lamb of God is not a Damnation band, then it's true because you get to decide, because you are the one creating that and you're the one who books it. So I think as a booker, you're always open to changing your mind. There was definitely some times in the early days where I was really resistant to booking stuff at Trees that I wouldn't listen to, that was maybe focused on a younger audience than I was, even when I was like about, my early 30s. I was still booking some stuff which would have been for fucking 18-year-olds, and some more of the poppy rock stuff that I just really didn't like. And without naming any of the band names, we ended up having a load of them at Trees over the years. And I've much more reconciled with that idea now that I'm booking for a broad church of people, particularly at Trees, but also at ATG. We talked about this before. I don't really go in that heavily on the sort of tech metal, genty stuff at ATG even. So, yeah, that doesn't mean that I think everything suits the festival and everything should be booked for the festival. And the higher up you go, and let's face it, Lamb of God is a fucking headliner towering over your poster with the biggest logo. You've got to believe in it if you want it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also will be, if I'd went and tried the whole post-rock trick in 2009, 10, 11, and the rooms were empty, I'd have gave up on it. It's not an arrogant thing as well, like, oh, this is just what I like and you need to like it too, but it weren't. Those bands played, Shells, Maybe She Will, This Will Destroy You, and the rooms were full. So I was a bit like, okay, what makes that a Damnation band? Well, firstly, I wanted it to be a Damnation band, and then the fans proved it was a Damnation band, so that's the answer.
Yeah. Exactly. So following on from that, Paul Atkins, he says, what band does Gav try to book every year but never manages to get? Same as James's list with Mastodon and the Mars Volta, etc. Now, you're not allowed to say thou, because the only one that springs to mind in this is thou. Now, you may not want to give out band names for the bands that you fucking...
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I can tell you Cult Leader because they're not able to do it again next year either. And it's just like, I don't know how many times. I think we've had Cult Leader actually on the artwork at one point to book, and it's just one of those weird ones. Like, no one's Cult Leader aren't changing the direction of Damnation. I mean, they're just an exciting, interesting band that we always want to book, and for whatever reason, they're one of those bands that the schedule just needs to work. I mean, I'm not shelling out 10, 15 grand to have Cult Leader fly in for a UK exclusive. So it needs to fit their schedule, whatever their schedule is, or however they decide when they're touring, when they aren't touring. And it will happen one year. They've always been interested. Their agent's always interested in making it happen. But we've just never managed to get it over the line. But it's a band that I ask every single fucking year, Cult Leader, and it never happens. Obituary are the big one. A bigger one for us that, again, I think there's twice. I mean, the 2020 lineup, they were actually confirmed. They were the last band to be announced alongside Wolves in the Throne Room and Pig Destroyer. So they had confirmed. and then 2020 get cancelled. And then we almost had them out like 22 or 23. Obituary, one of the ones just seem to always be on the cusp of just playing and then they're not. So no doubt we'll try again and see what the situation is for this year. But who knows? It could be in a download or a bloodstock or any of these where they could go to incineration, I suppose, and then be not at Damnation. So those are Cult Leader and Obituary, without thinking too hard about it, are two that we try for regularly and never really get across the line.
Good answer. Okay,
I feel like I'm getting grilled here. Honestly, James, I feel like I'm getting grilled.
I'm enjoying it. Changing tack slightly, Mike Rogers asks, will the stalls in the merch tent all be changed over from day 1 to day 2, depending on the bands playing, or stay the same both days? I mean, just to sort of expand on that question, how will the merch work broadly the same as last year?
Yeah. I mean, broadly, oddly enough, one of the things that you'd noted on last year is like having the separation of two of the different Damnation types of merch, inside and outside, being a wee bit confusing. We are not doing that this year. We're doing all the all the Damnation festival merch at one side of the merch tent, and the Damnation clothing, the Branca studio stuff, and everything that Tom Begley will be selling at the other side of the festival. For anyone who doesn't quite understand the difference between it, one is the lineup on it. It will be Damnation 2025 merch. The other stuff has no lineup in it. It's just Damnation clothing merch, streetwear, if you will, and it's all going to be in the big merch tent. It's outside beside the tent that does the seating. There will be some traders in the ISO merch, the Captain Moustache, the Punks, and Cult Never Dies at the back of the main arena, because I don't think we can get everybody in that one merch tent, and plus it's sometimes just a nicer experience to sit and browse the records when you're inside the venue rather than in the tent. But aye, largely the same way as we did last year.
Good. And so in answer to Mike's question, so from day 1 to day 2, does it all change over? Because most of the bands are selling their own merch.
Yeah, I mean, we give them a choice. There's a few this year that are taking us up on the offer to sell the merch from them. Matka and Natasha are trying to build in a system where if we sell for you and we get it all set up, we can sell for the weekend instead of just the day itself. I mean, it stands to reason if the band are coming in that one day and they're selling themselves, they're definitely not going to be doing it the previous day or the day after, because they'll be going to their next show and taking their merch seller with them. But if the band are coming in and they want us to sell it, there is the opportunity. So you might see some bands that do have merch on sale for both days because Damnation itself is selling it. If you're selling your own merch and we're not taking a cut of it, we're not going to offer it to let you do that twice. But we're going to let you sit and sell your merch without paying us anything on a day that you're not playing the festival. I mean, you need to draw the line somewhere, but what did they give you? The table, the tent, the electricity, the plug-in points? I mean, you need to move away and let other bands come in and use it for the following day.
Yeah, agreed.
Right,
Okay,
we'll use this one is the last question, and then we'll get a wee bit of the thingy. Yeah,
absolutely. So Pete Wall says football managers often talk about making it through the first 20 minutes as a marker to aim at in a match, by which point you can feel a bit calmer. What's the Damnation equivalent for you?
Okay, the Damnation. This is actually because it happens. It does happen to me anyway. You get to start the day and your stomachs and knots, and then there's a wee bit on the air, the doors opening, fans coming in, first couple of bands where you can't quite get the heads. And this will happen to me. I will go and see Oryx, and I hope by the time that over at the Albatross are finishing, it's cleared up and I'm in the zone to be enjoying them properly. The first couple of bands that there's too many potential pitfalls with everything. Bands not showing up, power outages, anything that can happen that can fuck up your day. That they're all in front of you at that point, and it takes a few hours from doors opening and everyone getting about the venue in good shape before you allow yourself to write, okay, that stormy cloud isn't coming. And that's even at every Damnation. I've always done that, and it differs because sometimes what happens in the first couple of hours, you're still dealing with problems, so it sits for you until maybe 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night before you can unwind a wee bit and say, okay, enjoy the day. Sometimes the day just opens and it's completely flawless, and then by the third or fourth band you watch, you're a bit like, oh, everything's going well, people are enjoying them. So it's a sliding scale and just how difficult it's been behind the scenes. And then like a 2019 that I spoke about when I had all the issues with like Opeth and Mayhem, and behind the scenes about the lift not working and all that kind of jazz. I don't know if it ever left me through that day. There was ever a point where we're just like, this is fun now. It was just a case of get to the end of it and make sure people enjoy the experience for what they can see it. So it is, in my opinion, a bit of a sliding scale, but I hope by this Saturday coming that by the time Overhead Albatross are playing the first band on the main stage, I'm able to enjoy it properly because I'm really looking forward to that band.
Good. Okay, I'll see you there for that.
I mean, you can answer. You're part of this podcast as well. How do you feel when you at Trees or ATG? I mean, you don't just go to bed each morning with like a spring in your step and go, everything's going to be great, do you?
Yeah, no, I do. We're not doing the same job once the festival starts, me and you, I don't think. The whole thing is set up to run without me. I could literally fucking have a heart attack in my caravan, no one realise, and then 6 days later they'd realise the festival had gone well and they'd packed it all up and has anyone seen James? So, which is, might be dumbing my role down somewhat, but my role is much more important during the year than it is during the festival.
Yeah,
I'm important during setup, but when the festival starts, honestly, people joke about me fucking coming out looking all clean and smart when everyone's still working, but Wednesday morning at our festivals, that is what happens, and I'm having a beer with you at fucking 11:30 a.m.
Yeah,
so
mate, listen, Bill, if you've got that team around about you, you've done the job you're doing. Believe me, book the amount of bands that you book and the amount of organisation you put in beyond that, that is a lot of a role for the thing. So you know what? That's the goal as well, to be a case of, right, okay, if you had to step out of the festivals, would everything just run as well for you? I mean, for chunks of last year, that was the case. I was wandering about and I was like, I wasn't going to my next job to go and do something. It was just like, I'm still so hands-on and being the sole owner of the event. There's a lot that still needs to go through me for people to feel comfortable in doing the job that they're doing, which is understandable as well.
And you were very chilled last year from my memory, and I thought it was going very smoothly, and you seemed to be, hanging out, and watching bands and having a beer and having a chat. So
that's what we're aiming for last year, James.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be it.
I'm not trying to put like a depressing spin in this. I mean, I'm up for it. Let's go. Just
good. Let's go. Okay. Well, I mean, just before we finish the questions, Dave Bird wants to know who will be the next Celtic manager.
See, that's the one I was trying to avoid when I said.
I know. I could tell. I know what you just did. Okay, we'll leave it. It's fine.
I have no idea. The honest answer is I have no idea, Dave. Honestly, I don't even have the headspace to think about it.
Okay, so tomorrow morning. No. So talk me through basically what gets you to 6 p.m. Friday now. Where do you go tomorrow? What sort of jobs are you doing Wednesday, Thursday in the BEC? When do you go to Breadshed? Is there stuff you need to do there? Just talk us through it.
So tomorrow is up and into the van, load the rest of the stuff I've got tonight into the van, take that, go pick up my brother, drive to BEC. Now this is one of these things where when you get there, is everything the way you want it. I mean, we've got 3-4 cabins getting delivered tomorrow, 2 tents going up on site tomorrow. So is the site the way you want it, or is there a fucking truck parked in the middle of the car park? Has he still got his big massive trailers that he uses for other festivals out the back? Is there scaffolding all over the gaff? Is there is the clearance that we need? So the cabin guys could show up tomorrow at 9 in the morning and put the cabins in wherever we say, but I know for a fact that won't be possible. When we go there, there'll be issues on site that need to be addressed before everything can be the way we want it to be. So we've asked the cabin folk to hold off until about 1 or 2 until we're on site to see where things are going to go. Then that will be the first issue to tackle. We're getting a lot of the rider delivered. So I don't know, fucking 200 cases of beer for Asda getting delivered tomorrow. Now half of that's going to need to go into a storage cabin. Half is going to need to go up and start getting into the dressing rooms. We've got the 2 tents to go up. We can't start putting anything in the tents. Can't start building all the all the tables and benches in the merch area and putting the lighting up and power into it until they're done. So that's going to happen throughout the Wednesday, probably finished by the Thursday. We've ordered Harris fencing to arrive. We've got a whole lot of new artwork to put up around about the site, like the photography. So that needs to get put in place, all fucking tied together. So but all through Wednesday and then into Thursday, it's going to be a lot of that. Then there'll be a second delivery of rider with the stuff that's more like your meats and salads and all that jazz. Finishing any sort of signage up round the inside the venue, which is not my role at all, will be the stages getting built, the lighting company coming in, the PA company coming in, the video walls being built. There'll be some stuff in place from the Sidewinder rave that just happened, but largely that'll just be staging. The stage will get built out because our main stage is fucking humongous, because it'll need to be for the production coming in the Saturday. All that'll be getting built out, and then the Mojo to put in whatever the accessibility platforms. I mean, we share a lot with other events, and I said to the venue manager, can we share some of the accessibility platforms? And like, he never laughed at me, but he laughed at like how, I don't know, accommodating. I mean, I don't want to be dismissive because it's important that it's there, but he's like, no other event does this. Like, Sidewinder, Manchester Adore, Derby, like, they do not put in the entire venue's accessibility. It meets all legislation. You're putting that stuff in, so you can't ask Adored and Sidewinder on the event before that to share the cost of the accessibility platforms when you're the only event that cares enough to put them in. So there's bits like that where I need to sit down and like, what worked last year, what didn't work last year, to get those put in. Bars will be, I mean, all the stuff within the venue, the bars will be getting built. Again, not my role, but again, the Holy Goat guys will show up. They need to get the lines put in for that. And that'll take us through pretty much until the Friday. We'll finish each night. Then you go back and you look at your computer. Your computer will be a bin fire because the entire day's internet will still have been happening. And you won't have been there to manage it. So you'll be getting into your inbox. There'll be like 240 emails for guest list and arrival times. And can I change this? And can I get a refund in my ticket because my granny's nowhere? And it'll just be fucking all that. And then me, Angela, Fro, Callum, Marius will need to deal with that. And go through it. I mean, a wee bit of bad news for yourself. I mean, that tent, that cabin, this Gav's cabin, it's turned into a bit of a Damnation documentary cabin. It's getting decked out for like 20 years. You will be in it because you'll probably get interviewed at some point about your thoughts on Damnation, but be nice, don't say this was supposed to be when I was in getting fucking drunk.
Mate, that is I mean, it's not a bit of bad news. I think you've undercooked that a bit.
I went to see what the scheduling's like for it. I'm sure there'll be a chunk of the day where it can be all yours, mate, right? You can sit with a wee microphone in your hand, just lording it up with your own wee cabin. So that's what will happen tomorrow. Get back to the Airbnb we've got. Get through order some pizza. Get through the emails. Up on the Thursday, do the same again. Get back. Get through the rest of the emails. Get your AAA guest list finalised. Get your press list finalised. Get everything that's coming out. Stragglers at the end. Then the Friday, is it all in place? What we want is by the time we go in on the Friday, it'd be like, the Thursday will be a lot of loading. All the backline will come in. A lot more of the rider will come in. By the Friday, there shouldn't really be any deliveries. It should be a case of right, finishing touches, make sure the screens are all ready for that. The press area is set up, the canteen is set up for the forum passes. And if we had to open tonight at 5 o'clock, we should be able to open and people should walk through the door and could do that. That's the goal. You can't go in on the Saturday morning and still have a merch area to build or a cantina to clear out or signage to go up in the fucking dressing rooms, because that's just because Saturday morning will bring all its fresh problems, which will be production trucks full of Orbit Culture's gear and more buses than you can fit on site and the rest of it. So you need to be ready by Saturday morning to tackle that. So I'm hoping everyone goes off site. The crew are all invited to Night of Salvation, so we'll go along to that. Hopefully everybody can have a pint, enjoy it, and then be ready for the weekend ahead.
Happy days, mate. That sounds good. Sounds like a achievable plan.
Sounds like an achievable plan. I hope that's the case.
Yeah, so in theory you're done Friday afternoon and you can all go to Night of Salvation in the knowledge that Saturday morning you're pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely the hope. I mean, when you get shit that like when we last spoke, I told you about 10 different things I'd like to have sorted, and then crippling alcoholism pull out, and you lose 3 days because you're stopping merchandise for getting printed. You're trying to stop the laminates for getting printed. You are now going and getting. I mean, we were pretty. I tried to make an offer for a band. I tried to offer a band 10 times more than I was paying Crippling Alcoholism to come and do a special set at that slot, and I almost pulled it off in the space of 8 or 9 hours. I'm not going to talk about it on here, but I will tell people at the tour in December, and I almost happened. But then when that didn't happen, it was like, okay, what's the other options? And like, who's still available? Who would be popular and who could we pull in? And they're like, fucking right in front of us, Dimscure is the answer. This is what I do for you. But then you never know if they've got another drummer's getting married that year, that week, or the guy's on holiday or whatever. So it's that, it totally derails everything, all your pre-planning you were doing for that 2 or 3 days where you're trying to put, and then you need to announce it. And you're waiting for crippling alcoholism again, because ultimately, even though I was a bit annoyed about how it all came about, I don't want to stick a knife in them and the other UK promoters. I mean, I would have eventually. I would have just let that second go for like a week. I was still giving them the time to say, like, you guys can still get ahead of this and come out with a real... Because what I didn't want to see is, like, unforeseen circumstances or forced to. I mean, like, when I say that, I mean, they decided not to do this. They weren't... There was no unforeseen circumstances. There was no forced to. There was miscalculations. And I was pretty happy they were honest about that. I wouldn't have been very comfortable trying to lie for them. He'd be like, oh, you know what? They just could not. There was no way around about this. So that's how it is. So the reason I'm telling that whole story is something else might happen between now and then when we speak next Tuesday. And I'm a bit like, I was hoping to be ready for Friday, but ultimately some other shit hit the fan. I had nothing that I couldn't control, and it took fucking days to repair the damage.
Yeah. You never know. So okay, so good. Damnation's coming Friday. We go for it. We go mad for it Saturday and Sunday. What is there anything you want people to know about? I saw you did that really good comprehensive info post on the forum. Anything you want to talk about? Anything you think people should know about?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you will go read the post, because there's plenty I want to say. We've got fundraising stuff that we're doing for Bry, t-shirts that we're doing for Bry, and Mark Latham's done photography that's going to get signed, that we're raising money for Bry as well. Go and read about that. It's on the forum. It's on the forum there in the Facebook group if you want to know a bit more about it. It's all there, as James said, pretty comprehensive, going through accessibility, and we've got pictures up there of the maps and the tram lines and all that jazz. What I would say, if you're listening to this, you're a bit like, aye, I could do a day that, and it sounds exciting, and I would like to give it a chance. There's still the tickets left. There's still that wee 150, 200 tickets left that just aren't moving at all. And I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, last chance to get your ticket, selling fast, about to sell out. I don't need to lie. Damnation's already successful. It's already making a fortune. Whether it makes a slight bit more of a fortune or doesn't, I don't suppose it matters a great deal. But the tickets are there if you want to come along and experience it. Maybe you listen to this podcast and you think, I really do like Arctangent and Trees, but it just seems like it's so fucking vicious and angry music. There is hundreds at Damnation that is not vicious and angry. Nordic Giants, fucking EF doing Give Me Beauty or Give Me Death, Overhead the Albatross, Warning, Mesa, Castle Rat. There's a lot of melody at Damnation where you can come and enjoy and hear no grindcore or death metal or black metal. There is a nice varied mix of bands that you can weave through and not have, like, I get it, if you're not into grindcore, you're not into grindcore. It's an acquired taste, but you can come and enjoy Damnation. It's a great community, great feeling. We've got good food vendors, good merch. Come and try it. That would be my one thing I say. Like, there's a lot of people this year. I mean, this podcast has put so many first timers onto Damnation, and I feel we're going to see more first timers next year, because they're going to get that whole knock on effect of, oh my god, I did go along and it was enjoyable. So do it this year, even if it's just for a day. Pick one of the days and come and try it out, and I'm almost certain you're going to love it.
Oh man, you're definitely going to love it. Fucking do it.
And that's that. And who else will be there? Our wee pal Lou's Brews. If not, come just so you can fill your boots with Lou's Brews. He is, I mean, Tom Begley, when we were on tour, it was different price points. Like Anal Vomit's £12 and one was £6 and 1 £7. Tom Begley's like, fucking everything's £10. I think Lou was a bit like, that's a bit more expensive, and it all sold with almost no qualms whatsoever. Lou still isn't that greedy. He said, just put every single bottle on for £8, which is pretty much what you're getting on the site for most of the bottles, and a few pound less than some of the bottles he does. So it's all going to be there. You can pick them up, no delivery fee. I think he likes to leave a few wee testers if you want to see just how fucking hot or tasty them are. Come along, grab a few Lou's Brews with you. I'm talking to everybody for this. Like, help support that stall. It will be there with the rest of the merch. Get yourself, I mean, the food's great anyway, but it'll be even better. You fire a wee bit of hot sauce, a wee tikka taka on top of your curry. You will be absolutely laughing. So yes, get along, support Lou's Brews. If you aren't coming to Damnation, get onto his site, Pod 15. I don't think I mentioned with the ISO merch. If you're all going to Damnation, you still want to support the site. Pod 10, 10% discount at checkout. Lose Brews, Pod 15, 15% at discount at checkout. Go and buy some bottles. I finished my Tika Taka tonight and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So Lou's coming for the duration, presumably. He's bringing the party.
He's bringing the, I mean, you know, fuck, he is the party. And he said, so what's the, can I set up on Saturday morning? And I was like, Lou, you need to be there for 8 a.m, mate. And let's face it, you're not going to your bed until 5 on the Friday. So, like, don't even mess about with that. Just get it set up on the Friday. So it's all good to go. And I've not dealing with you and your nonsense at noon on the Saturday, trying to get a merch stall set up when the public's in. So he's like, right, okay, sounds like a good plan.
Satan's Hollow, Lou. Satan's Hollow. Friday night.
You don't make, listen to me, James. 40-odd-year-old man to 40-odd-year-old man, you do not want to be in Saints Hollow, I promise you.
Mate, I've only been there once, and let's not forget I got thrown out. We did talk about telling that story on the podcast, and we decided not to. So we're not going to, but yeah.
Do not go to Saints. There must be other options. I mean, just go to a street corner with a bottle of cider is a better option than being our age and going to Saints Hollow, I promise you.
No, I think it'll be lovely. Okay. I'm just putting the idea in my sober head so it can percolate around, and then when I add some alcohol to it,
I don't think Lou is not again the guy, even though he knows better, he'd probably just go along anyway. So, hi, what can you do? The super sub, oh my God, James, I hadn't realised just how much had been asked for from Damnation. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even this is what I didn't realise. There was a guy who asked you to go along and see his band in Bristol, and you weren't able to do it. So he changed his super sub to a Damnation t-shirt. So even the guys who didn't ask for Damnation initially, I've all like 2 hoodies, 3 t-shirts, a patch and a pin. It's like, we need to talk about my slice of the pie.
Mate, it's just because at our end, Kev is super organised, and anytime anyone mentions it, Kev just makes it go away.
Aye. So, mate, there's a few people that I'm still chasing my tail, trying to get people want a Cantina pass changed, and somebody wants that. I will get on it. I will definitely get on it. Worst case scenario, if you're listening to this, which you likely will go into Damnation, go to the merch stall, Shannon at the Pins and Knuckles, Tom Begley at the Damnation clothing one, and explain the situation. The worst, they can message me, text me. It'll get sorted. You will get what you're supposed to get. I will try to have your names there with the size beforehand, but it is a bit all over the place. I actually tried to find like the list of the people. So I was in Ko-fi, Patreon, the Two Promoters One Pod, Instagram messages, the Damnation messages, Instagram, Facebook, the group, the page. I was like, at one point I spent 45 minutes looking for a name and I just gave up. I was like, this is fucking, I cannot find this for love nor money. So aye, just chase me. Honestly, we'll get all everyone that's been promised something, we'll get what we were promised. It's just been a little bit chaotic. As I say, I could do a PA in my life.
Yeah, I mean, any major problems during Damnation, and definitely go to Tom Begley. That would be my advice. He's in the merch area. Ask him a question.
And this week's, who have we got coming out for wanting something? We have an Adam Davis Powell. So Adam Davis Powell, you get in touch. There will be a bunch. There must be some backlog of people that I don't remember seeing what people would ask for. So I will get that. I've just been busy, I will, honestly. Or maybe James will help me out at some point when he's known the world's largest desert, enjoying himself, and we will get right back on top of it. If you want to be in this very generous jug of joy, asking Damnation for £1 of flesh, then patreon.com/Two Promoters One Pod. It's greatly appreciated.
Good stuff, mate. Okay, let's
on the record.
Let's on the record it. I've chosen the song World Maker by Psychonaut. Basically, the new Psychonaut album is great. I feel like not enough people know about this band. Fucking wonderful band. They're a bit post-metal, they're a bit prog, they're a bit techie. They tick a lot of boxes for different people, I think. They're great live. They've got 2 very different, but both amazing types of vocals. I just fucking been a fan of this band since 3 albums ago, I think, and they just keep doing good stuff. And this album is really, really fucking good. So you can catch them at Damnation, and then you can catch them again at Arctangent. So fucking do it.
Absolutely. I mean, they're such a big sounding band. Remember when I first heard the last album, was that the one that's Unfolding the Godman?
No, that is my favourite. But that's not the last one. There's one in between.
Right.
Which I can't
Well,
remember.
that
What it's
first
called.
that was like just first thing that like proper Mastodon vibes. That big, huge production, sounding fresh as. I enjoyed that album a lot, and they were going to be definitely. If you don't know that band, definitely check them out before you come to Damnation, because they're one of the ones that could slip under your radar, which you do not want to harm. I went through.
Sorry, I'm going to change my song from World Maker to Endless Currents. I meant to change it and I forgot. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. You do what you like, James. It's your podcast too. I went through on the record, because there was several tracks that I was ready to pick for bands playing Damnation this year, and they were already on there. Your Hello Scotland and Forward and the Dimscure track, Elder Burn, and I was like, okay, and then I got glaring omission that there's never been a Stamping Grounds, Officer Down. This, you want to see absolute carnage at Damnation, be there for the end of Stamping Grounds track. There's quite a famous picture of Damnation 2014 where they have split the entire arena in half for a wall of death. Anyone that was there in the music box at Jelly's Rock World in 2006 when they first played Damnation, it's one of the most historic sets that we've ever hosted. It was insane, and you laugh about the stuff now, but at the time he said they got permission for security for everyone to invade the stage, and the stage was just a few milk crates. And I mean, and it was just, there was crew trying to hold up the speaker stacks, there's people swinging for the roof, there was people getting knocked out. It was carnage. Then they came to Leeds Refectory and then created a whole new type of carnage in a big room. I can only imagine what they're going to do to the second arena at Beck. It's just such a, I mean, I've never been the biggest hard. This is a sort of hardcore meets metal, but as soon as you hear it, the intro is just so iconic and heavy UK metal, and I'm so glad they're back. They seem to be having the time of their lives out on tour, and those have been booked for a bunch of things next year. So they probably came back like, okay, Gav's talked us in here, let's try it. Came out, realised, like a lot of these bands, oh, why do we give us up in the first place? Probably a reason that they've forgot about now 20 years later, and they're out there seeing people enjoying the music they wrote 20 years ago or 25 years ago and having a blast. And I cannot wait to see them do it at Damnation. It's going to be incredible and a bit brutal and violent. Come and enjoy it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I've never seen them live, so I will make sure to check them out.
Well, we will, you absolutely will. So that is your Damnation preview. Please come along. And the podcast would be like, oh, because we hadn't spoken so long, and then Shifty's sort in the background just putting out wee videos and stuff like, oh, fuck, that's right, we do a podcast as well. So it's been good. I don't know if this was the last thing I needed tonight or the exact thing I needed tonight, probably somewhere in the middle. But it's been nice to come on, chat with you for a bit, and have a pint of Weston's rhubarb cider, which is fucking delicious. Weston sent me a bunch of ciders for the riders over the weekend, so I'm sure there'll be a few in our fridge. If you know that you're much of a cider drinker, but any of your team, you are welcome to come and have a cider with us as well. So, aye.
Awesome.
Till next week, big man.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Which will be the Damnation review.
I'll be there.